Greetings to Africans at home and across the diaspora. This report follows the failed destabilization attempt of January 3, 2026. After the plot was exposed, the government of Côte d'Ivoire denied any involvement. In response, authorities in Burkina Faso chose transparency and allowed those involved to speak publicly. Today brings a new development. A fourth individual has now confessed. Sergeant Chief Salo Yaleogo, a former member of the Republican Guard, describes how he was contacted, recruited, and assigned a role. His testimony strengthens existing evidence and reveals more about the coordination behind the attempt. These disclosures underline why openness matters for accountability, sovereignty, and stability. Not only for Burkina Faso, but for Africa as a whole.
I am Sergeant Yaleogo Salfo, service number 12, 180, 10, 463, serving in the Republican Guard, more specifically in the Support and Site Protection Battalion 2. About 2 weeks ago, an unknown number called me several times, but I did not pick up. Then, a few minutes later, my uncle, El Haj Wemenga Ali, a merchant by profession living in Zinyare, contacted me and told me to answer the number because he was the one who gave them my number to call me, that it was his friend El Haj Sakande Madi, which I did. I answered the call. El Haj Sakande Madi let me know that he wanted to see me very urgently and asked what time we could meet. I said, okay, I will let you know. But 3 days later, contact was made. And it was at the Peace Field in Ouaga 2000 on the east side of the field. When I arrived, he greeted me and called a number and passed the phone to me. And I took the phone and the person started speaking to me in these terms. How are you? I said, I'm fine. In Ouagadougou, I said, everything is fine. What's the news there? I said, everything is fine. Do you know who this is? I said, I really don't know who this is. Oh, really? Okay, this is Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damiba on the phone. To which I said, okay. All my respects, he said, good, and later we will talk with you. And our communication ended there that day. 2 to 3 days later, El Haj Sakande Madi told me he contacted me again, saying that Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo wished to speak with me and that I could come by right away. I asked, where are you? He gave me his location, which was at his office, which I did. I went there and he called Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo and passed the phone to me. That's when Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo let me know that he is a soldier like us, like me, and he knows it's not simple. He said, you're not asking, but I have a commission for you. The commission will be available either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow with El Haj Sakande Madi, and you can go and pick it up. I thanked him for the gesture he had just made, and he also specified that El Haj Sakande Madi would clarify some things, some stuff for me. After our exchange, he hung up. That's when El Haj Sakande told me he made it clear to me that it was a coup d'etat project, that he expected me to mobilize men for the success of the coup d'etat, which I agreed to without saying anything. And we left it at that. The second day, when I was supposed to pick up my package, I called El Haj Sakande. He told me, he let me know that he was traveling and would be in touch as soon as he returned. That's where we left it. And upon his return from his trip, it was Uncle Uiminga Ali, a merchant by profession residing in Zinyare, who contacted me to get in touch with El Haj Sakande, saying he was back to give me my commission. I want to specifically clarify that when I received the clear and detailed information about the role I was to play, which was a destabilization project, I started my work by reaching out to the men I trust the most, those individuals who have always supported me. It was at that time, during the absence of El Haj Sakande Madi from the country, that I worked. I worked diligently. And I want to specify that I was the picket commander at the Republican Guard on December 31st. So, a meeting was arranged between Warrant Officer Sakande and myself at 8 p.m. at Palayiri at his office to pick up a package. When I left to pick up the package, I went in my vehicle with 2 PKMs and ammunition, a lot of ammunition, 4 crates of ammunition. Once on site, I was specifically supposed to establish communication with Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damiba in order to take possession of my package and get the schedule for the meeting. While I was waiting for the phone call that would confirm the meeting details, I kept checking my phone to make sure I did not miss any important updates. It was during this period of waiting for the call that I was arrested together with El Haj Sakande Madi. The arrest happened at Palayiri at around 10 p.m. when the area was already quiet and most people had already left for the night. I would like to present my most sincere and heartfelt regrets and apologies to His Excellency, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, the esteemed President of Faso, as well as to the resilient, courageous, and steadfast people of Burkina Faso. I also wish to extend my deepest and most profound regrets to my respected superiors and to the entire military hierarchy, expressing my genuine remorse for any distress or inconvenience that may have been caused. I also wish to express my sincere and heartfelt regrets as well as my deepest and utmost appreciation and regrets to all the component forces of our motherland. I ask for clemency, and I also wish to ask for forgiveness from all the units engaged in theaters of operation, day and night, despite the bad weather, despite the adversity, despite the harshness of the fighting. I ask for clemency, I ask for clemency, I ask for clemency. May God help Burkina Faso, may God help Burkina Faso, may God help Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso remains one, unique and indivisible. No evil, internal or external, will be able to divide our dear country, which is Burkina Faso. We have only one country, Burkina Faso. And we will all gather together around this fabric so that no harm or damage can come to it.
As you listen to this testimony, take it seriously and weigh it with care. These disclosures touch national security and sovereignty in Burkina Faso and across Africa. Authorities chose openness so facts come from those involved, not rumors or outside narratives. Protecting sovereignty demands alert citizens, disciplined institutions, and leadership guided by national interest. Africa's future depends on unity, honesty, and the courage to face hard truths. Share your views with respect. What does this forced confession reveal about transparency and accountability? How should African states respond when denial clashes with evidence while preserving peace and sovereignty?